Hello, mate. It's your Uncle Dave here. It's snowing and wet and cold in London, and so we must turn our attention to, instead, Tesla coiling again. So I just wanted to show you a recent purchase that I've made that has really engaged my passion for this project, and it's this. Oh no, it's not that. This is Rosie. You engage my passion a lot, Rosie, but you're not quite what I wanted to show people. I wanted to show them this. This is a drill, probably from the 50s or 60s. And what I love about it, and why I bought it, is because it's got this atom punk style to it. Really like Fallout. Doesn't that look like a mini nuke out Fallout? It's even got this beautiful green patina, which I'll definitely be keeping. So the idea is, I'll use the handle of this as the back of the handheld Tesla coil, which is what we're trying to build here. And I bought this because I needed the inspiration. I needed something to kind of ignite my fires, because we're getting kind of bogged down a little bit sometimes, I feel, in trying to develop the control system and the power supply and everything that needs to go into this, and probably a little bit here. Let's see. It'll kind of look, I think, so if you imagine that like that, but maybe a bit extended. It'll look cool anyway. Inspiration. However, this episode is all about developing the control system a little bit more, and also we will get to what happened in the incident, because I know a lot of people want to know. Uh-oh. But we'll be coming to a special section in this video where we discuss that. But for now, I want to come straight on to the control system that we're trying to develop to make this thing work. This is what I would like to make portable. So far we've been testing it with the Heart of Sparkness, of course, which is a full bridge of IGBTs. They're sort of sandwiched underneath there. And been controlling it off this staccato interrupter, which just basically connects the coil to the mains, the 50 Hz sine wave of the mains, on the upslopes. So that's what we've been using for testing so far, and it's actually been really quite reliable, especially in the last video when I was using it to blast that plasma screen TV. Even with sort of flashovers, no damage done, and the Heart of Sparkness was good and solid too. So this has been a good test rig, but this obviously can't be used in a portable handheld coil because it connects to the mains. So I've designed this, which is a CMOS based driver, which would be connected to the Heart of Sparkness, producing the long straight sparks. You know, it's been a long time since I designed any kind of CMOS stuff, and I mean a really long time. So I have, it's just lack of confidence, is it? Probably lack of confidence in this. So in order to help with the tuning of this, and possibly to exist in its place even, I got this, which is the Universal Driver UD3. It basically uses this fancy little chip to do the job of a lot of this kind of logic. This is a more modern and convenient way of getting there. Well, convenient for me because I just downloaded this, the Gerbers off GitHub. I should just need to connect it onto the gate drive transformers, which are these two guys, and that will allow us to produce the phase shifting effect that will produce the long sparks. So yeah, I'll just populate this up and we shall start the journey into seeing whether I can actually get it to work at all. Wish me luck. The Universal Driver is not God. There is no God. Or perhaps there is. Discuss in the comments. If there was a god of Tesla coils, it would be Steve Ward. In about 2008 came up with his first universal driver, an open source solution to controlling any modern Tesla coil and protecting it from hurting itself. I think the schematic is here, by Stephen Ward. By 2010, he'd relaxed into the Steve we all know and love today and invented the UD2. Remember, the purpose of these controllers is switching big switches, but those switches come with a delay. The UD2 was able to compensate for that delay, making the switching time perfect. In 2015, He came up with the Universal Driver 3, the UD3, which is what I'm trying to build, which was the first one to use a fancy chip. More on that later. Skip to 2017, and netzpfusher. Netz meaning a sort of web, and pfusher meaning a bungler or a botcher. So he's a web bungler. I think this is a German joke. So netzpfusher developed the brains of the UD3, and so it's largely him we have to thank for where the software is at today, I believe. If you go to page 10 on this fascinating read on the High Voltage Forum, which I thoroughly recommend you do read, we'll find our third contributor, T-Max Electronics, also German. He did lots of little changes, but probably the major one is that he made it so that it could easily be assembled by a certain overseas PCB manufacturer. All the information about that is on the GitHub that's related, linked below. Putting on the last big resistor, some capacitors, bit of final soldering, USB port, ISO washdown to get rid of the flux. Watch your uncle. This side, I had all of the components already installed. Just leaves a lot of big, easy components to install on this side, except for one, which is neither big nor easy to install. I do recommend a stereo microscope. Ooh, it's like being there, like your head's gone all tiny. You're going to have to put up with this 2D representation. Yeah. All of these components went on very easily. I'm glad I got the other side populated by the unnamed overseas PCB manufacturer. Tricky part, I think, is going to be this PSOC here, where is the PSOC? Oh, here it is. This is the packaging it came in. Quite extraordinary. There's actually only two in there. See them in there? Overkill. I've never done drag soldering before, so I thought I'd give it a try on this guy. There's your view. It's not as exciting. Sorry about that. FedEx arrived. Got a couple of things that might be useful to this project here. 10 more IGBTs. Something tells me we might blow some IGBTs up. So I thought if I order 10, Sod's Law dictates that everything will be fine and they won't blow up. So I'm leveraging it in my favour, you see. Tip. Yeah. Do you get excited by new soldering iron tips? I do. Maybe we should talk to someone about it. There she is. Probably better. It actually looks huge now I'm looking at it. Screws on. So if we have a look underneath here, you can see it's got this sort of divot in the end of it. Actually looks enormous, doesn't it, next to the chip? The idea is that the solder forms a sort of little reservoir in the tip. Yeah, I'm quite nervous about this. I've not used this style of soldering iron tip before, so don't judge me too harshly, will you? First things first, there's a dot there. Should line up with the dot on here. There it is. It's the little dot that lines up with the little dot, not the big dot. Just so we're clear. Where's my tweezels? Oh, here we are. This dot here lines up with this dot here. So what I'll do first is just put a little bit of flux. Should help the solder flow. You know, there's a bizarre phenomenon I've noticed with microscopes where once you're operating a tool underneath the magnification, it seems to make your hand steadier. I don't really understand how that can be possible. If I was doing this without looking through the microscope, it would be all shaky. But that looks pretty well lined up, doesn't it? So then I'm going to just... There should be a little bit of tinning on the pads already, so I'll just touch a couple of the corners just to anchor it in place. And then hopefully we can go. Okay. So now this is the bit where things could get interesting. Please don't judge me too harshly. I'm a nice guy, I'm just trying to solder, man. See what it looks like. Alright. There's plenty of really good solder technique channels on YouTube. So don't look at anything I do and think that's how to do it, okay? I'm learning here. I'm learning here. I'm learning here. All right. Think that's enough? Don't know. Let's try. Did it do it? Is that enough? I don't know. Oh. Looks a bit bridged along there, doesn't it? There's probably experienced solderers among you screaming at me right now. I understand. My friend Dan said that this was going to be very satisfying. I mean, if these are soldered, that was satisfying. This is not satisfying. It's making me feel very ham-fisted, this massive tip. Alright, I'm going to switch to a smaller tip. I'm not getting on with this one at the moment. I'm feeling frustrated. How awkward to be doing this on YouTube in front of you all. I think I probably got too close onto the legs because of that angle there. And that's what's caused it. Pop on the tiddler. How am I going to straighten that pin out that I've bent? You gotta laugh, haven't you? Otherwise you'd fall into a desperate depression. Ah, you can see there now. Most awkward all of this. I'm going to try some hot air and some flux to unbend this pin that I bent. It's hard. There we are. Whew. And I'm just going to work my way round. Just one at a time. Much better. This has been really quite stressful, actually. I think the thing is about the drag soldering is if you were soldering a lot of these chips, then, you know, after a couple you probably would get your technique in. But, yeah, a lot more practice required there, I think. There is something quite nostalgic about an old-fashioned red LED. I had a choice of all these colours. Still chose the red. Because of 80s!
Oh, how it goes in this stubborn town.
If you thought the drag soldering section was awkward, then this next section is super awkward. So, hooking up to 24 volts. Because I basically became increasingly dissatisfied with life. Some sort of indicator of progress would be nice. As a result of expecting the board to power up in some way. Going on. Now, some lights on. It's not pulling much current. Flicker the LEDs. Looking for some flickering lights here. Not seeing anything. Do something. Still no activity from that chip.
Say something.
I went all the way around and rechecked all the legs on the chip.
Anything.
Checked every single pin. Really tired now.
Do something.
My wit's end. Very tired. Wait, did I mention I was tired? Checked everything else on that thing. 24 volts. Current limited.
Don't let me stand on this ledge
Ah, jeez.
and be ashamed
It was really getting me down. 24 months. Current limited.
I too carry shame.
I actually ended the day with what I can only describe as a primal scream. Rant over. But after a night's sleep, of course, came clarity. Silly old me. Worked out what the problem was, and there is no problem. That was the problem. This thing, I think, is going to work okay, or at least we'll find out at the next stage. What it was I was expecting it to actually do something when it's plugged in, like draw some current, sort of boot up in some way, and it hasn't got its firmware on it yet, so of course it's not going to do that. So I'm just going to proceed as if it's actually working and try and install the firmware, which looks like quite an interesting procedure. I've got a thing for doing it. This is like a programming kit for this kind of chip. So I'm just adding a programming header to this, and then we'll see if we can flash some firmware onto the PSOC. But yeah, I feel a bit silly because I did get quite stressed out there thinking it was supposed to be doing something. And yeah, it doesn't know it's a thing yet. It's just a dumb lump of silicon. We have to make it smart. Why does it always tear just when you think it'll come off cleanly? Okay, she's free. So now we're going to go into software. If you thought a PSOC was a special kind of sock that you pee in the night, thus saving you a trip to the toilet, by morning it's dried out and you can harvest the dry crusted crystals for use in experiments, then no, you'd be wrong. And also, what's wrong with you? A PSOC is in fact a programmable system on a chip, and it was originally made by Cypress. You can read the Wikipedia page on it. There's been quite a few from PSOC 1 to PSOC 6. What they all have in common is they're a kind of a combination of a microcontroller and some configurable analog and digital parts that you can make products from, really. So an example of something that contained the first PSOC, in fact, a PSOC 1, was iPod scroll wheel from back in the day. You may remember it was rather a nice and smoothly operating thing when that was thanks to the PSOC 1, which was controlling it. So you can see here someone's broken one out in an attempt to reverse engineer it. A failed attempt, in fact, because it has quite good security, so it can actually prevent you from taking the software off it. That's not the case with any of the software we're using, of course, all open source, and you can look on the GitHub and see what's what. But yeah, it's for this kind of embedded product kind of purpose. If that all sounds like it's going to be very simple to operate, this is the current Infineon datasheet for the one that I'm using, which is a PSOC 5 LP family, and as you can see, it's 139 pages. Just on this one family, the PSOC 5, which is the one I'm using. So, yeah, this is going to be a piece of cake, right? 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 Let's try and put the firmware on. There's a USB connected here, and this is my computer. If you look on flashing the firmware part of netzpfusher. I had to install this thing called PSOC Creator from Infineon. And now I don't know what to do, so let's read the instructions. We're going to use PSOC Creator, number one choice. Well, let's see if I can just figure it out. Create a new project. Plug it in. I'm just totally making this up as I'm going along. That is crashed. I mean, that looks like something right. No. I have no idea what I'm doing. Went off and on again. I succeeded. What is going on? When do I do program? No idea what I'm doing here, of course. We've got Linky Block sounds. Hey. I have a feeling we're close. Maybe. Not sure. I'll be back. So it's not detecting anything, so we are doomed. jigsaw is very opaque at this stage. No, it's just not detecting it, is it? I've just noticed that I've connected this the wrong way round. This is very typical of me. The hard stuff is easy and the easy stuff is hard. Actually, scratch that. It's never easy. None of it's ever easy. Forget I said that. Nothing's easy. It says it was successfully programmed. Oh, nothing. It was successfully programmed. I'm not seeing any activity. Still, it was successfully programmed. I don't get it. 032 was successfully programmed. It does not draw any more power. It's just doing exactly the same as it was before, even though it said it was successfully programmed. So, yeah, a little bit puzzled as to what's going on here. Welcome to day 2 of trying to get this flipping switches. It's been giving me just enough progress to sort of keep me going. You know, just a little bit of a light on here, a little bit of something installing, and... Ooh, there I am on the mic. PSOC Creator, this software from Infineon, which is how you flash these chips. It has been a steep learning curve, somewhat almost vertical. The chip can be configured to have all this analog stuff in it. So it's got logic gates, then you've got actual software. I think I've just solved it. I downloaded bootloader hex file and bootloader elf file. So I think this is going to be the final thing that makes it do something a little bit more jazzy than this when it starts up. So this is kind of compiling all the different things together, so you can see it chuntering its way through all of that in a most satisfyingly old school way. Yes. 0 errors. 30 warnings. 5 notes and 30 warnings. Does that matter? I don't know. All right. Fingers crossed. Yes. Stuff going in. Programming 1024 blocks. Yeah! I mean, this might all be good. So we no longer require this. USB. Yes, doing a little dance again. Oh dear. So there's a USB serial device on COM7. COM7. Yes! Sorry, you couldn't see that. But yes! That just came up. UD3 Tesla. I think we have a functioning board at last. Man, it did feel like I don't feel comfortable giving a full explanation of exactly what it is that I did. They do offer this, the binary is on the GitHub, which is, I think, supposed to contain everything, but I found that a lot of the folders where it was looking for things were empty. So I don't know whether that's something I've done wrong, or if you're supposed to load the bootloader first. I know none of this means anything to you. If you're going to make one of these, be prepared to hack away and probably go on forums and ask questions. I'm not very good at that. I'm a bit scared of other people. So, not you, of course. But anyway, this appears to be working now, I think. Oh yeah, we can try out the relays. So if I turn the bus on, then that should be relay 1. Okay, so watch for a light. Yeah, bus on. Yeah! And the other ones are just on relay, so that would be relay 3, 1. Yay! 4, 1. Yay! Oh, this is such a relief. It has been hard. It's been hard. I was worried. It's been hours. Yeah, this is exciting. It works, it works, it works. Yeah. Oh, it's made my hair stand on end. I know I don't have any hair, but I've still got the feeling of hair there. But Uncle Dave, I hear you cry. How can we connect the UD3 to the coil when we haven't even explained that... What do you want, Rebs? Here she is.
The evening started like any normal night.
You're not allowed in here.
A man explains to his dog why she can't take part in high voltage experiments.
If you sniffed it and it went up your nose.
He begins the experiments. What was that? Something is about to go horribly wrong. The experiment fails massively.
Uh-oh.
Smoke issues forth. Dreams are shattered, lives ruined, dogs mercifully unharmed.
What was that?
What was that?
Oh no.
Let's review the clues. The first clue comes in the initial glitch. If we zoom in and enhance on the oscilloscope, you can see this is what a normal pulse looks like from the interrupter. So this is just showing the mains frequency on the top and the pulses which are connecting the coil to the mains for the upslopes of that 50 Hz sine wave. This is what a normal one looks like, but look what happens during the first glitch. You can see there that it's not only connecting it far too many times in sequence on the upslopes, it actually appears to be connecting it every time it crosses zero. This is, I believe, caused by a loose connection in the staccato interrupter breadboard circuit, which is being disturbed by my fiddly fingers. Now we come to the main incident, and you see the same thing happen again. This time, it doesn't stop. The second clue is what happened to the IGBTs. Not only did they fail,
Oh dear.
short,
Beeping noises.
but under the microscope, they had actually melted.
Yeah, it suggests that it didn't really sort of blow so much as just couldn't get the heat out.
The third clue, the smoke. And this is where things get really weird. Primary, undamaged. Secondary, undamaged. Top load. Top of it looks normal. This is where I think the smoke came from. Around here, you can see there, yellowish stains from underneath the foil there, because of this construction method of gluing tin foil on. See there? Yeah. Here's my theory. You know when you exceed the maximum voltage rating on an electrolytic capacitor, it basically explodes, vents, gives off a load of smoke. Well, the top load of a Tesla coil is actually supposed to be a capacitor, but in the electrolytic capacitor you've got sheets of foil that are separated by a dielectric, and in the Tesla coil the air acts as a dielectric. What if, because I had these sheets of aluminium and they were glued together with wood glue, what if we made an accidental capacitor and then overloaded it and vaporized the glue which was between the two plates? I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say about this.